Hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on the banks of the beautiful village pool. We're joined by Gary and Mitzi and we're in search of anything that swims. As you can see on screen now, autumn really has arrived on this venue and is one of the reasons why I love coming here at this time of year. You can see the trees are full of the browns, the oranges, the greens, and those reflections just make it a beautiful place to sit and wet a line. During the spring and summer you have seen me fish the banks of the River Weaver on the feeder, and that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be fishing 2 lines, hoping to maybe pick up Mr. Carp and some silvers. So before we do make a start, I just want to say a huge thank you to the overwhelming support in the comments last week around Ellie, who was ill in hospital. At the moment there isn't any update really to give you, but as soon as there is I will put it on the channel. But I just want to say a huge thank you from myself and from Azza from the support that you showed. It really is appreciated and just shows the amazing community that the channel does have. So thank you very much. So that is the peg we're going to fish today, and again, look at those beautiful colours. After the week in work at my desk, how can you not be happy sat looking at that? We've got Gary and Mitzi sat next to us, so there'll be plenty of banter today, and Mitzi's all nice and comfy. Looking around, you can see a beautiful place to wet a line. Looking at the side tray, the first thing I did when I arrived was mix up some of the Hinders supercharged ground bait, and in there I put some of the hemp. Got some white maggot, some corn, some pinky, some Hinders hemp, and we've got a few worms. Looking at the swim, I'm lining up with the middle of that tree. I'm fishing round about here, clipped up. You see 1 or 2 roach topping on that line we've been feeding with that ground bait, which is great to see. And we're going to be targeting Mr. Carp over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start and have a cheeky cast on the method for Mr. Carp, see if we can pick one up, and then we can drop on this line that we've fed and see if anything's arrived. So we're on the first cast of the day and we're just on the method. It's probably got about 10 yards off the tree. I'm not going dead tight up to it to begin with, because I start easy and only go hard if you have to. The mentality of this anyway is not to really build a swim. I'm looking for opportunistic bites really. So I'm going to give it probably 10 minutes and maybe have 3 casts first thing in the morning, see if we can pick up a carp. For those that are interested, because I do get a few questions about this water, it is a water on the Lymm Anglers card, which there is a waiting list for, but I'll put a link down below to the waiting list for next year, and it is a beautiful place to wet a line. So that hasn't taken too long for Gary on the method with Mitzi's tuition for his tip to go around, and he's into the first fish of the day, and it's Mr. Bream, who is always a fan of the pellet, and it's a nice one as well. Is it tench? Mr. Tench. And there we go, on an autumn day does it come better than Mr. Tench. So it didn't take too long after Gary's tench for the tip to go around on the feeder, and we're into the first fish. The way it's plodding, it's feeling a bit breamy, but like you know on the channel, I'm the worst in the world at predicting. So fingers crossed it turns out to be a 25-pound carp. And on an autumn day, those oily boils just breaking that glass-like surface, and like always up comes Mr. Carp. He's come alive a bit underneath the rod tip, and I guess that was the target when we cast it out there. And there we go, what a beautiful way to start an autumn day. A few of the leaves stuck in the net and a golden carp in the bottom of it. Taking a closer look at what we're doing on this rod, got my phase 1 rod, a little 10-foot rod, nice and easy to pack away. Got 6-pound line. Gary's kindly lent me one of his method feeders because I didn't have one in my box. We've got a few of the Hinders pellets and a few that he's done some magic stuff with at home. I don't know what he's done. And in there we've got one of the pink Hinders wafters. Let's get it back out there. You can see there's a fish just rolled right on that ground bait we've put in. So the plan with that is hopefully working. I don't think there's any mistake in this one. The tip has gone round almost instantly, and yeah, holding tight, relying on the setup, just going to tease it away from that far bank snag. And it is all today about just enjoying being on the bank with a mate and getting a few bites. We've got guard dog Mitzi on the lookout, so we're definitely safe. 2 carp on that method over to that snag, and hopefully with them fish topping closer in, there's a few bites to be had on that silvers line as well. I'm going to have one more cheeky cast for Mr. Carp, and then we'll have a look. So no more carp were forthcoming on that cast, so just going to have a bit of a cast on the silverfish line. So just gently squeezing that ground bait in, just tight enough to get it to the bottom. Gentle plop. Out there, it has been really quiet. I did expect it to go round quite quick, and it just hasn't materialised. I've just put the method out again and began setting up a waggler, because there is a lot of fish topping. It's going round straight away off that tree. I was hoping today, you can see there the fish topping, and again set up a waggler and see if we get a few bites, because the feeder with all the leaves on the bottom definitely isn't working. That golden carp before showed all the golds that are in the trees. Then Mr. Tench is definitely showing all the greens and the olives. He's full of life, but he should have done his fighting in the water most definitely. So just set up a simple waggler. Got 4 number 8 droppers, a few shot round the float, and going a bit closer in, just a nice gentle chuck. Got one of the Dread and Vizzy wags on. There's a few maggots over the top, and you can see that a bite straight away. Only a small fish, but I knew these fish were about. We weren't getting a tap on the bottom, just a bit further out on more bait. So as always, to start off with, it's just about getting a few bites. And there we go. And it just shows what a difference in presentation can make. On that feeder we were bringing in leaves, and I think the bait was getting kind of lost, if I was honest with you. But I change over to the waggler, and that's a lovely little roach that is. So in recent blogs we've talked about presentation on the weaver, and in a recent blog where we were feeding, you know, to get bites and the importance of presentation, and that just shows it again. And a beautiful little roach. So into the last bit of the session now, and just gone back over to the method, just hoping to get a better quality fish. A little small dumpy carp, and what a beautiful carp that is. Mouth in immaculate condition, and a lovely little common. When we set out today, we hope to catch a number of species and just chill out. We've had roach, perch, rudd, bream, and now we've had Mr. Carp as well. Been a lovely day bankside. Let's get the rod back out there and see if we can get another. So not too long after letting that first carp go, that move over for them better quality fish has paid off. The rod's gone round again, and how mad, we've been out there in that deeper water and these bites are coming against that back wall, and just shows how location is so important in this transition period into autumn. Them fish are not in the deep water, they're in about 2 or 3 foot of water. With those trees in the background, these are not the biggest carp in the world, but the colours are absolutely beautiful. Gin clear water, and you're getting them dark winter colours starting to show. So that tip's gone round again. It hasn't taken too long. I was having a chat with Gary and the bailiffs come round for the chat, and I had one little pluck, and then I tightened back up, and about 2 minutes later the tip absolutely ripped round, and what a beautiful scene it is. Them colours in the trees, a bend in the rod, and almost certainly into another carp. What a beautifully marked carp to end the session on. If you wanted autumn in a carp, it'd be that one. Not the biggest carp in the world, Not the biggest carp in the lake, but maybe the most beautiful. Those lovely scales, those dark colours, just remind me of autumn. Let's get this beautiful fish straight back, and all that remains is for me to wish you tight lines in your own fishing, and we'll catch it all next week. Tight lines.